I don't know if we dug into that much after your start the other day, but your teammates have talked about it now. Your pace, when did that develop? As you were coming up in the game, and why is it an asset for you?
Um, Honestly, I think it started even from a young age. I've always liked the quick pace of it. I mean, in my old school, it was a little bit different. We didn't have like the sign cards as we use here. Only the catcher had them, and then they would relay the sign to us. Um, but I feel like the quicker pace I am, it's easier for me to stay focused and in my zone.
Was there an awkward first bullpen you threw or anything like that when you got here that people had to adjust?
Um, Honestly, the first weekend in Mexico, I think people saw a different side of me that they did not see at all in the fall. Um, the fall was just, I guess, my getting used to everything here, especially like armbands and all that. But like the first game in Mexico, like I had that quick pace. I have like the walk and all that. And I think everyone realized like that's when I'm in my zone.
Was that part of your planned approach coming here, was sort of taking that fall as an acclimation period to ramp yourself up for the spring?
Um, yeah, in a way, yes. I dealt with some stuff from my past school, just like body wise. So, like, getting back into the flow after taking basically almost the whole summer off was that fall period was for me to get back into like pitching shape and getting back into it.
First experience in front of the home crowd last weekend. What was that experience like?
Oh, it was amazing. I'm not used to like having 2,000 fans or something like that in the stadium. The Jane is awesome to play in. I think the max we ever had was maybe 200, if that. But it's cool to see everyone come out and to support. Like I love the atmosphere here.
Was it intimidating?
Do what?
Was it intimidating?
No, no. Honestly, in a way, because I mean, I've played at like Power Five schools before. Like last year, we played at Tennessee. They like to yell at you, and it is what it is. I mean, that happened at Washington, but I'm the type of person where I zone people out when I'm on the mound. I don't listen to what other people are saying or like what they're trying to yell at you. I'm more just to myself.
I was going to ask somebody who brings the intensity you do to the circle. So you don't feed off of or a crowd necessarily, anything like that. Are you just so in your own process that?
Yeah. I'm the type of player where I can't allow myself to get too high. So I've had instances in my career where I've gotten way too high to where it affected me on the mound. So I'll like, if someone hits a home run, like, yeah, I get super excited, but like then I have to dial it back down to make sure I'm still good.
How do you do that in a home environment, though, with 2 strikes, 2 outs in particular? I know everybody gets up in the 7th inning, but as the games get bigger, I believe on Sunday they even got up in the 4th or the 5th. They should do it all 7, but that's aside from. How do you do that as a pitcher where, like, if that's something you have to be cognizant of? Because, yeah, as these games get bigger, in an ideal world, you're going to have that 6, 7 times every time you're out there, and it's going to get louder and louder.
Right. Honestly, I just stick to what I know of just staying focused and keeping everything going. So that's what my mentality, and that's just what I like to continue to do.
With your pace,
Right.
it's different than baseball in that there can be strategic advantages to short pitching and because they have the stretch versus the windup and stuff. But
Right.
is there much to it beyond just your own rhythm? Is there much to it strategically for it, because it's just different with softball
Right.
compared to baseball?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think my freshman year of college is when I like really got onto the pace part, but I find a spot on the scoreboard or even just out in front of me to where I can take that deep breath just to keep myself like composed and everything. So,
Do you feel any of the, I don't want to say complications, but the start of the season versus where you are now, is that just kind of maybe correlating to building yourself up to pitching shape and kind of getting everything dialed in? Are you expecting to get stronger as the season goes on, I guess is my question.
I expect so, yes. I think my confidence level is a lot higher. I think as long as I keep commanding the zone and then allowing defense to play and we continue to hit the ball, I think as long as it goes, I think I'm going to continue to get stronger as the season goes along.
Now that you've gotten a little bit of the taste of the Pac-12 in these first two series, has there been an adjustment for you with this higher level of competition?
Yes, because we had good competition, but not this caliber of competition at all. I think the main thing I have to focus on is hitting my spots in my corners, and it has to be precise, because if not, you leave a ball anywhere close to the plate that you don't know like what the outcome could be. It could either be a home run, or you never know. So like the main thing is just the command of the zone.
Does that take a little bit of more focus mentally when you're in the circle, when you're going through an outing?
In some ways, yes, but in some ways, no. I think just from like past experiences, I feel like I'm still as focused as I was as a freshman. So I don't think there's much of a difference with it.
How does it play into either preparation or just your own thought process throughout the game, between innings, what have you, feedback with coach, whatever, because like you talk about, like if you make a mistake at your previous school in that conference, it may not necessarily leave the park. But when you're preparing to play one of the top offenses in the country and one of the top hitters in the country, how does that change things? Because the margin for error is just that much more narrow.
Right. So like for instance, like when I come off the field, we'll talk about what happened, and then like for the next inning, she'll either ask me if I want to continue or what I want different. So if we're throwing, for instance, a lot of curveballs or something like that, and it's not working, like maybe more of a mix of speeds will help to get the batters more off balance. So more so just sticking with that as well.
Do you feel, Coach has talked about how she gives a lot of latitude to the pitchers to provide input.
Right.
Pitchers who may not have the confidence or the experience to call their own pitches or kind of know what they're feeling. Do you feel like, if I don't have my curveball, I can go to coach and say, that's not happening today, let's go to something else? Or are you still going to kind of do your best with what's called?
No, I 100% think I can do that, because for instance, Sunday, I called time, last batter. I didn't want the pitch that was called, so I called my own pitch. And I think as you get older, that's something you realize a lot more, because, for instance, my freshman, sophomore year, I never wanted to shake off pitches. Whatever was called, even if I didn't feel 100% confident about it. But as you get older, you realize you have to be confident in that pitch, because if not, and you're just like, maybe a big chance is you're going to miss your spot, and you don't want that outcome. So, yeah.